One of the more telling things, and I unfortunately couldn't find the sign, but it had said that if you are gay or lesbian, but you're not an activist, then you're not truly a part of the queer community. And that is something that I've seen a lot. You know, I've already seen probably 4 times today that if you don't support, you don't affirm, that you're hateful, or just tons of stuff that are anti-hate. And I understand where the parents are coming from, especially the parents who have been told, if you don't affirm your child will end themselves. I do not want to be insensitive to that kind of fear. And I think that there's also this need to be an ally when you think your child is going to be ostracized. But again, as somebody who works with kids and who has a young person and who has a lot of nieces and nephews, there are very few people who are going to ostracize your child just because they are gay or lesbian or even trans. There are very few people who will ostracize. They may not personally approve, they might not personally like it, but they're just not cruel. There's just not a lot of kids who are cruel, and I hope that that gives you some peace. Um, because the opposite side of that is that when your allyship becomes so totalitarian that you need to attack the people who aren't part of your group. See, being tolerant used to mean that people, you go your way, I'll go my way, and we don't wish ill on each other. That's what being tolerant used to mean. Now, this new desire to tolerate means that we must celebrate. And I fundamentally cannot celebrate things that I do not agree with. That is hypocrisy and cowardice. And so I can't do that. But I don't agree with being monstrous towards people. So the other day I was in the store, I was in a Goodwill, and my cashier was a very nice young man, obviously a questioning young man, if not a transgender person, but a very, very nice young man. We had a great conversation. He asked me about my day. I told him what I was going to do. And in the end, he liked me enough that he just did his little thing and gave me the employee discount on what I was getting. Very nice. He never had to have a discussion with me about what I believed about him, nor did I have to have that belief the other direction. See, that's real tolerance. And being told or watching that somehow that's hatred today, I think that you need to reflect on that because you might be the person more likely to hate. You're the person more likely to slander someone else just because they do not fundamentally agree with you. So that is Judith Butler again. So let's talk about this idea of drag because I see it everywhere. I see it in James Tallarico. Drag is pretending to be something that you're not. That I think in a nutshell, at least that's the way that I see drag. I see drag as I'm going to put on all this stuff. I'm going to oftentimes make a mockery. And it's been interesting to me to hear these terms. I no longer have to gatekeep. I don't have to gatekeep womanhood. So men are not even trying as they put on women's items and demand that people treat them like a female. They don't even have to try anymore because there is no true way to be a woman to these people, or there is no true way to be a man. It's just this fluid conglomerate that is going to hurt so many people. So let's talk about some of the people that it hurts, and I'm just gonna show you a few people that I know, okay? The guy in the end, I don't know him. I mean, I know who he is. He's an influencer. He's very gay. He's very queeny in his gayness. Lots of attitude. But I like what he says. I like a lot of what he says. He has a show called Respectfully, and I like him. This person here, though, this man I adore so much that I would consider him a brother. And he's a gay man. He's a gay man and a therapist who speaks about the evils being done to children. And I adore him. So when I get called hateful because I don't agree, and he knows where I stand. As a Bible believing Christian, he knows where I stand on things. But just because, and I will say it, just because I believe something's a sin, oh my gosh, I'm not without it. I sin every single day, and I have some rather big ones for me. Maybe for the rest of the world, they wouldn't be that big, and I'm not going to go into them because it's nobody's business. Just like it's not my business. I see a very good man there. I also very much like this Becky Weiss person. Becky Weiss seems very wise to me. And one of the braver people that I see, and that I honestly pray that he doesn't get killed because he's out in Seattle doing his explaining the trans phenomena to people. And oftentimes he's very trolly when he does it, is Animosity Ari, who I interviewed a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a month ago. And he's a lovely human being who's also extremely hurt, both physically, because he went through the whole procedures, and also because he was groomed. He was literally groomed as like a 14-year-old sitting in a room with a bunch of men who liked the idea of him staying forever a quote unquote little girl. That's what this guy went through. And they're not supposed to talk because, see, if you don't have the right viewpoint, you're not supportive, you're not queer. Queer is an ideology, and quite frankly, it's a rather violent ideology.